Sauer coming in doing a really good job pitching, the lowest ERA on the staff for Lipscomb, who has a 2.9 ERA as a staff. They will go about 4 pitchers deep. Actually, correction, a 4.31 ERA, 2.9 for the pitching staff for the University of Kentucky. 1 ball, no strikes. Top of the first, Kentucky already down to their final out. The 1-0. And this pitch goes for a strike, so no ball, 1 ball, 1 strike, evens the count at 1. And this is a Kentucky team. They hit very well. The 1-1. And I will say this, as Riley Smith, does she steal? Second, she does. So Smith now in scoring position for UK.
Yeah, Smith got a good jump. Helped out by the bobble by Sherman to put her in scoring position, and a single could possibly score her with 2 outs in the inning.
And runners left on base was an issue for the Wildcats in that series versus LSU. UK left 27 runners on base in that 3-game series versus the Tigers of LSU. And this one swung hard but foul down the third base line. So still staying active, Grace Lorsung at the plate, coming in 281 with 13 runs, 18 hits, but has hit 5 homers this season. The 1-2, this one swung, ground ball towards the left field. That will advance Smith to third, and now corners covered with Grace Lorsung on first. That now brings up to the plate for the Wildcats, Peyton Plotz.
Now, just to finish your thought on Kentucky's woes with runners in scoring position this weekend, I mean, that's something that drives Coach Rachel Lawson crazy. And, you know, it sounds obvious and cliched and all that, but I mean, that's how you win games. And I'm not a huge statistics guy personally, but one of the few stats I really do look at closely is that pitch misses for a ball is how hitters do with runners in scoring position, and especially with runners in scoring position and 2 outs.
Yeah, Plot, speaking of runners in scoring position, she hits at 389 when she is facing runners in scoring position, and 444 when she is facing 2 outs. And another interesting thing about Peyton Plotz, as I was told by the SID from Kentucky, she benches 145. So it's a strong, powerful bat out there.
Yeah, one of the stronger players on this team in the weight room.
A 3-0 pitch count, 3 balls, no strikes. The 3-0 delivery, and that will be a ball. So Plotz will advance to first on a walk. So now Courtney Sauer facing a bases loaded situation, and going out to talk to Miss Sauer is Brenna Sherman, the catcher for Lipscomb University. In early stages of the opening inning for these teams. What is that conversation like early on?
It's a little bit situational. It's a little bit just getting your pitcher to settle down a little bit. She got 2 quick outs, obviously aided by Brianna Wright there at second base on an excellent play for the second out of the inning. But, you know, definitely how to approach Hamilton here with the bases loaded and 2 outs, but also Sherman playing part psychologist a little bit and telling her to settle down and give her confidence to get this final out.
And that pitch goes for strikes and no balls. 1 strike to Hamilton, coming in 308 with 11 runs scored this season, 16 hits. She's driven in 9 runs for the Wildcats. The 0-1. And you know what? I like what Carissa Hamilton did right there. She knows what and what not to swing at. And that evens the pitch count at 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. You're going to see a lot of intelligent hitters for this UK team. The 1-1. And that one goes for a strike. So 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Hamilton has a good eye at the plate. She's a primary catcher for this team and one of the few catchers in the country that plays almost every day, or at least wants to. Not something you see too often in college baseball and college softball.
Oh, no, it's not. And that lets it be known that she has earned the trust of her head coach, Rachel Lawson, who has been at Kentucky for 17 seasons. And we'll get into how she has helped this program over the years, as this one hit and fair, and that's going to drive in a run. So actually, no, I stand corrected. That's a foul ball, and trotting back to third base is Riley Smith. So excellent battle between these two young ladies. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And this one a swing and a miss, and that will do it for the top half of the first inning. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. This is the A-Sun, and you're watching it all live on ESPN+. Mason Kirby.
Now, Kirby off to a great start this season, average north of 300.
And looking at the Lipscomb starters, the aforementioned Mason Kirby, leadoff hitter, Alyssa Hastings, Josie Polk, Brenna Sherman, Brianna Wright, Kaylin Belfield, Lauren Higginbotham, Lauren Griffith, and Josie Jorizzo. The batting order from 1 to 9 for Lipscomb. Last pitch, 1 ball and 2 strikes. So a 1-2 count for Mason Kirby, as you stated, hitting .311 this year.
Yeah, this is a Kentucky defense. We talked about it in the open. That's had a rough start to conference play. They have the 3rd most errors committed by an SEC team at 21 and have the 2nd worst fielding percentage, 963. You don't think that's that bad of a number, but you want to be above 98%, which is right now where Florida and Georgia are the top 2 in the conference.
Yeah, and we have seen that defense has been Kentucky's struggle throughout the year, but I will say as a good team, they have found themselves out of those defensive struggles. And offense has really been what has helped them throughout the season. So we will see how that unfolds here this afternoon, as Mason Kirby looking at a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the first inning. This one hit but fouled, out of play, going down the third base line, and Kirby will still stay alive at the plate. This UK pitching staff, a 2.9 ERA, and Schoonover a 1.89 ERA, the best ERA on the pitching staff for the Wildcats.
Now Schoonover, 4 pitches, rise, curve, screw, backdoor. The rise is her best pitch. It's a lot of swings and misses off of it. Tops out about 66 to 69 miles an hour.
The 3-2 delivery, and Mason Kirby will strike out looking there. And as you could tell by the slight pause coming off of the plate, she looked a little confused there, but nonetheless, Mason Kirby will strike out to get things started in the bottom portion of the first. Alyssa Hastings hitting .271, her 60th appearance at the plate, has scored 10 runs with 16 hits this season. Schoonover with the pitch, and that is a foul ball. So first pitch goes for a foul, 1 ball and, no balls and 1 strike. For Hastings. This is a Lipscomb program. Had a chance to talk with Coach Ryman. She wants to see a lot of consistency with this program. They don't lack the effort. There's not a want to do things. That's not an issue. It's just a Jekyll and Hyde approach with this team.
Yeah.
The 0-1. And that goes down as a strike. So 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, good off speed there. Just dotted the outside corner at the knees. As a hitter, that's a hard pitch to hit.
And that pitch a foul. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Count even at 2 for Lipscomb University. I had a chance to talk with Coach Ryman. I asked her, what ASUN team could you relate this UK program to? She said there's not necessarily a case right there, as we have yet another out for Alyssa Hastings. So now Lipscomb potentially staring at a 3-up, 3-down inning as Josie Polk comes to the plate, a .344 hitter with 9 runs and 21 hits on the year, leads the team in RBIs with 14. And pitch slightly outside. And actually, no, say that one was in the zone, so that will go down as a strike. So no balls, 1 strike, and going upstairs and actually having somewhere to go, a good sign for Schoonover. The 0-1. And that one's slightly outside the zone.
Yeah, that pitch was borderline. It didn't miss by much.
Yeah, it really didn't. And now just a quick conversation between catcher and pitcher.
Yeah, just to get on the same page with the signs here. I mean, 2 outs, bases empty, not in a high-stress situation here.
No, not at all. I mean, to your advantage. I mean, potentially looking at a 3-up, 3-down inning, but not necessarily the case right there. I mean, this Lipscomb team, they're going to make you work. And Kentucky, the same offensively. They're going to make you work. It'll be an interesting game between these two teams. The 2-1 swung right there for strike number 2. So count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, good rise ball there. Left out over the middle of the plate, but got Polk to go after it. Would have been ball 3.
The 2-2. Slightly outside for a ball, so now pitch count goes to full. And I will say, I mean, a lot of pitches that Schoonover has thrown, I mean, they look good. And this one fouled and will go out of play, but still staying alive at the plate are the Bisons.
Yeah, good at bat here for Polk so far. Working the pitch count, more aggressive. Just trying to get a piece of the ball to stay alive. I'm not sure. Coach Ryman too happy with the first 2 batters striking out, looking there, leaving the bat on their shoulders. Coaches want to see more aggression at the plate.
And I think that goes more to that negative side of the consistency for the Bisons. This one, a foul ball, but doing an excellent job going for it. Riley Smith over in left field. You got to give her an A for effort out there. But Josie Polk, I mean, her and Schoonover are really going at it at the plate.
Yep, go.
And as you can see on the replay right there, a foul ball hit hard. That's one thing we know Josie Polk wants to do. She wants to hit the ball hard. She has shown that throughout her at bat. And at this point, as you start to see these young ladies really going at each other, do you feel like this is more of an advantage to the hitter or to the pitcher now that the pitcher's now thrown more than 5 pitches to the same batter?
Yeah, definitely the hitter, because you just get more reps per se, and they just get a much better feel for what Schoonover may bring.
And this one, a ground ball going towards third base. Will the throw be in time? It is. A ground out to third. In center field for the Bison, Joey Gerizzo, and in right field, Mason Kirby. And a foul on a bunt attempt for Kentucky. Jenna Blanton at the plate for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Blanton, not much power in her bat, but she's a slap hitter and can run well and drops down excellent bunts.
Yeah, that she does. She has done that the entire season, and at times has really helped put this Kentucky team on the board. We'll see how she does at her at-bat. The 0-2. And this one, will the throw be in time? It actually is not. And safe at first base, Jenna Blanton.
Second baseman, number 12.
And Margaret Tobias, the number 7 hitter in the order, the second baseman. As you can see, the starting lineup for Kentucky.
That was a great replay, though, dude.
First pitch, this one a bunt perfectly laid down, and that will advance a runner to second. So Blanton to second. Margaret Tobias gets the first on the nicely laid down bunt, RJ.
Yeah, so that'll be a bunt hit for Tobias, and she couldn't have laid that down any better had you had her roll it down the third base line. And she can run very well and just beat it out. And they were looking for the sacrifice there, and they got a little bit more with now 2 on and none out.
Yeah, Lauren Borzarelli.
Dude, they're going to bunt again.
At the plate for Kentucky, the number 9 hitter.
Ready for, and go for.
So 1 ball, no strikes. In correction, Borzarelli attempting to go for the bunt.
Ready, 1.
The pitch count, 2 balls.
It's the old adage, get him on, get him over, get him in, right?
Oh, here you go. So now 1 more runner in scoring position at second with Blanton at second. And it looks like right now Blanton has shown that she wants to be aggressive potentially.
Ready for, 4's up.
The 3-0. This one just inside the zone for strike number 1. So 3 balls and 1 strike.
Ready, 1's up.
And Borzarelli, a 250 hitter this season. And the crowd somewhat disagrees with that one right there. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And we saw in the top half of the first inning, Courtney Sauer really helped herself out. She was looking at a bases loaded situation and found herself out as this one will get into the gap into center field. Runners advance, coming around, scoring for Kentucky will be 2 runners, Jenna Blanton and Margaret Tobias. As Borzarelli with the double into the center field gap.
Yeah, 3rd double of the year for Borzarelli as we take 1 more look. Just timed it perfectly off speed and shot hard into the right center field gap past a lunging Brianna Wright.
Now back to the top of the order, Erin Koffel, the leadoff hitter for the Wildcats. First pitch goes for a ball, so 1 ball, no strikes. But Kentucky able to get 2 runners in to take a 2-0 lead here. The 1-0.
And that's 7 RBIs on the season for Borzarelli.
And a good job base running right there from Blanton and Tobias. That pitch goes for a strike, so 2 balls, 1 strike.
Koffel at the plate, the heart and soul of this team. One of the more disciplined players. She's a lot of times by herself in the cages looking to improve.
Yeah, that she is. This one a ground ball to third base. Will the throw be in time? It is. Then Koffel will ground out to third. So somewhat of a slow start for Koffel, who popped out her first attempt at the plate and then grounded out on her second.
Now, just to finish that thought on Koffel real quick, she more of a leader by example. She's gotten more vocal as her college career has progressed, but just based on her actions, she has a lot of respect on this team.
Yeah, that she doesn't. I mean, she's earned it. She has definitely earned that respect for sure. Allie Hutchins at the plate. And one thing we were told about Allie Hutchins, she is cool as a cucumber. an extremely brave player as well.
And ready for fours up.
So 2 balls, no strikes. The 2-0 delivery. And that one will go down as a strike to Allie Hutchins. This is a UK team trying to find some confidence after being swept in their opening SEC series. And you know what, RG? I mean, against a really good LSU program as well. I mean, I'm not going to be surprised if LSU sweeps a few more teams in the SEC as the season unfolds.
Yeah, and LSU was the unanimous number 2 ranked team in the country, and no surprise there. Well, it looked like Wright lost the ball in the sun. That late afternoon sun right in front of her there at the second base spot as she puts the sunglasses on. Now, a little out in front of the off speed there was Hutchins, and Wright had no idea where the ball was, and she had the shades on the visor, and now they're on in front of her eyes. So
next pitcher at the plate. We'll go for a strike. That is Riley Smith.
remember back in the olden days, if you will, back in the 70s and 80s, players in Major League Baseball had the flip down sunglasses.
Oh yes, I remember those.
Not many players wear those anymore, but definitely kind of a cool look as we get a pinch runner here.
Pinch runner in for the Wildcats, and that's actually a good situation right there. As Emory Donaldson, a freshman from Louisville, Kentucky, from a very elite high school, Ballard High School in the Louisville area. And Emory Donaldson coming in to do what she does best, and that is pinch run for the Wildcats. And the runner, Donaldson, will advance to second.
Yeah, smart play there by Sherman not to throw the ball down to second, which would allow Donaldson to easily score from third. Just eat it and concede the stolen base.
That's now the second stolen base in this game, and this one popped up towards the center field, dropped, and a run will score for Kentucky. And that will be Donaldson, who will score a run after coming in as a pinch runner. So UK.
Yeah, one more look. This is not an easy play here for Alyssa Hastings. Back to the home plate and trying to make a basket catch, and the ball just glances off the end of her glove. One that she says that she should have made, but just the level of difficulty pretty high there, and Kentucky gets a run out of it. Already 7 hits in this game for the Wildcats.
Yeah, the Wildcats are finding all of their pitches that they feel like they know they can take advantage of, and they're doing that so far in this game, and Kentucky has already put up 3 runs in the early stages. Neither team scored in the first. Kentucky has put 3 runs on here in the top of the second. Sauer still in the circle. That pitch goes for a ball, so 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, 44 pitches already for Sauer. High pitch count for this point of the ball game.
Yeah, that it is. I mean, she's had at least just about every batter she's faced. She's thrown at least 5 pitches to them as Grace Lorsong at the plate for Kentucky. Already with a hit in this afternoon's game. That last pitch goes for a strike, so 2 balls, 1 strike. And this would be, to go back to my point, this will now be the 4th pitch that is coming to Grace Lorsong. And this one, a ground ball hit towards second base. Will the runner be out at second? Yes, they will. And that is Hutchins at second base, who is out. So now Lipscomb, albeit they've allowed Kentucky to score 3 runs, now down to their final out Kentucky, but a nice hit by Grace Lorson.
And really good play by Brianna Wright. Again, mentioned it last inning, fast reaction time. That ball was hit on the screws, and she made a nice play shuffling to her left to field the ball on a hop and get the force at second.
Yeah, this is a Lipscomb team. They don't make a lot of the same mistakes twice. The 0-1. And this one a ball. So 1 ball and 1 strike. But more importantly, corners covered for Kentucky. First and third. You have Lorsung at first, Hutchings at third.
Well, Kentucky early in the game, already 2 for 3 with 2 outs in this game and 4 for 7 with runners in scoring position. They left the bases loaded in the first inning, but they have capitalized on opportunities here in the second.
Yeah, that they have. A stolen base attempt. Will the throw be in time? Yes. And fans, we're back live. We're looking at a replay of Grace Lorsung, and as you can see right there, a wonderful throw by Brenna Sherman to get Grace Lorsung out at second. And that is how the top half of the second inning ended for the University of Kentucky. A schoonover back in the circle for the Wildcats.
Yeah, it didn't look like Lorsung just got that great of a jump off of first base. That was her first stolen base attempt of the 2024 season. But a perfectly executed play there by the Lipscomb defense to end that top of the second inning.
And Brenna Sherman leading off the bottom portion of the second inning. And this one fouled. So that one will go down. First pitch, 1 ball and 1 strike. No balls, 1 strike, correction. And Sherman hitting .417 in the leadoff position here. Albeit she leads off here in the bottom portion of the inning. And obviously Sherman looking to hit this one as hard as she can.
Yeah, a couple of good hacks right there. She's timing Schoonover pretty well.
That she is. Now, going back to your point about pitchers and pitches, this is now Schoonover's 26th pitch. So she is throwing a lot less pitchers to these Lipscomb batters. And her last time up, it was a 3-up, 3-down inning for the Bisons.
Yeah, 24 pitches in the first inning, now up to 26 here when you include the 2 in the top of the second. But they weren't easy outs. I mean, she was deep in the count on all 3 of the batters she faced. She retired Kirby in a 2-2 count and Hastings and Polk on a full count. So it's not like she was retiring the top 3 batters in Lipscomb's order, you know, on the second or third pitch of the plate appearance.
No, she wasn't. I mean, these Lipscomb batters, they were making Schoonover work for sure. This is an 0-2 count, swung and missed right there. So Sherman, strikeout swinging right there.
And that was her best pitch there, the rise ball. She gets a lot of swings and misses off that, like I mentioned in the bottom of the first inning, and just got Sherman to go after it there above the strike zone. I mean, that's an appealing pitch in an 0-2 count, you know, as a batter. Pitchers love throwing that in that situation.
Yeah, that it was, and we saw that on display. The 1-0. So now makes the pitch count 1 ball and 1 strike. And I got a chance to have a conversation with the SID from Kentucky. He stated that the upset meter is high for this team, as that one swung and missed right there for strike 2. And Christopher Scholes, the SID from the University of Kentucky. And another swing and miss right there. And you know what, RJ? I think it's safe to say Schoonover is in a zone.
Yeah, 4 strikeouts in the first 5 batters that she's faced. And again, it's the rise ball. As we take one more look at it here, just high and tight on Brianna Wright. Again, when you're a hitter, it's an appealing pitch with 2 strikes, but a lot of the times that's the pitcher's best friend. You get that swing and miss.
Kaylin Belfield at the plate. That one goes for a ball, so 1 ball and no strikes.
And Schoonover more efficient here with the pitches. She's now at 9 when you include this one here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. She got Sherman on an 0-2 count with 1 foul ball, so she was gone in 4 pitches, and then Wright struck out on 4 pitches as well. And coaches like that. That's the kind of the number that coaches want. Get a batter out in 4 or less pitches, so you don't have lengthy at-bats and all of a sudden your pitch count is north of 80 and you're in the 4th inning.
And that's when the arm starts to get itself in trouble, if you would. The 2-1.
And another aspect of that, like we discussed in the 1st inning, as the count moves to 3-1, is the more pitches you throw, the more looks the hitters are going to see at the ball. So, and in Major League Baseball too, it's that 3rd time through the order thing with the sabermetrics. Players get pulled, and it's sort of applicable as that's hit foul. And again, the more looks a hitter gets, then the more likely they're going to be able to cash in on the pitcher.
And we see, to make your point, we see that right now with Kaylin Belfield. I mean, getting a lot of opportunities at Schoonover. So a full count, 3-2. And that one, a ball. So now, Belfield walked, and she's on the base. As Lauren Higginbotham at the plate now. A 156 hitter. She has scored 2 runs on 5 hits this season. The number 7 hitter in the lineup for the Bisons. First pitch swung on and missed, so no balls and 1 strike. You know what Schoonover threw? She threw that one pretty hard.
Yeah, upper 60s on the rise ball. There for Schoonovers. That pitch misses off the outside corner. She's a 4-pitch pitcher. Likes to hit you with the back door too.
The 1-1. And this one goes down 2 balls, 1 strike. And this is a Kentucky team. I mean, early on in the season, defensively, some good things were happening. And that one fouled back out of play, but still staying alive at the plate, Lauren Higginbotham. And this Kentucky team did not allow more than 2 runs in its opening weekend games. That was the first time in program history that the Wildcats have allowed 2 runs or less in 5 straight games to get things started this season.
Well, the entire Wildcat defense thought that was strike 3. It looked like a borderline pitch on the outside corner.
3 balls, 2 strikes, full count. With 1 runner on. And this one popped up and a pop out to end the inning. Things started in the top portion of the 3rd inning. And in the circle, Courtney Sauer, she's gone the entire way here for the Bisons. And almost 3 innings in, your comments on her so far?
Well, she showed resilience in the 1st inning. She got the 2 quick outs in the top of the 1st. UK wound up leaving the bases loaded in that inning, so she showed resilience in getting Hamilton to strike out to end the inning. Just a tough 2nd inning, though, for Sauer. Gave up a lot of hits, and the defense didn't help her out on a couple of dropped balls, for lack of a better term. The ball that Wright lost in the sun, and Hastings, not an easy play, just couldn't get the glove on it, that led to the Wildcats getting 3 runs on the board in that frame.
Yeah, this is a young lady that had a complete game versus North Carolina. This one, a ground ball into right field.
I mean, she's throwing strikes. You know, it's not like it's a merry-go-round with walks or anything like that. She's throwing strikes. Kentucky's just putting the ball in play, and good things are happening.
Yeah, this is an experienced Kentucky team. As we can see, they know what and what not to hit at, as Peyton Plotz, as we see on the replay, standing up single at first base.
Yeah, just past Brianna Wright, diving to her left.
And Vanessa Nesby coming in to pinch run at first base.
Now batting, catcher number 2, Carissa Hamilton.
Carissa Hamilton, the catcher, at the plate. This one swung. Ground ball into the third baseman. Will that throw be in time? Yes. So 1 down for Kentucky. As coming into the game, Vanessa Nesby as the pinch runner, but out at second. As Jenna Blanton now at the plate, as we can see the replay. Good fielding right there by the Bisons. Knew exactly where to go. Thought about turning 2, just not in time. But more importantly, you get 1 out. And this one goes for a foul. So coming back to home plate will be Jenna Blanton. Both teams are, RJ, I feel like, are starting to settle into the game. But Kentucky started off with the momentum.
Yeah, and I don't really think the momentum has left Kentucky's side of the field or their dugout here to this point. But a good play, though, for Lipscomb for the first out, and almost an excellent bunt by Blanton. Just dribbled foul. She would have been, we saw how she runs in the first inning. I think it's a safe bet that she would have made it at first base ahead of the throw.
The 0-1. This one upstairs for ball 1. So on the scoreboard, 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's Blanton at the plate. Sauer with the 1-2. This one, a dribbler to first base, and Blanton safe at first. And
yeah, just a miscommunication there with Wright and Higginbotham there at first base. I think that's one that Wright needs to field and Higginbotham needs to cover, because it left first base wide open, as you can see, and it may not have mattered anyway because Blanton runs so well, but just a lack of communication by Lipscomb defensively. And you can't score it an error. It's a clean hit. But just some things that Coach Ryman wants to see shored up a little bit. And going back to what happened last inning with the drop by Wright, or the ball she lost in the sun, I mean, you can't call that an error either. And tough play there by Hastings on the ball that glanced off her glove. Again, it's just because of the difficulty of the play, it's not one you can call an error.
Hallie Mitchell.
So already 9 hits for Kentucky here.
Pinch hitting for the Wildcats. Mitchell coming in a 125 average. And again, both young programs. So you'll see at times certain errors that normally wouldn't happen with a more senior-led team. And this one hit hard towards third base. Can the Bisons turn to? No. But more importantly, you put Kentucky down to their final out. So 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd inning, albeit you have 2 runners on with Blanton at first and Hamilton. Well, correction, no, Mitchell.
Yeah, one more look here. Nice play, nice situational awareness there by Polk to get the lead runner at third. Just the throw across the diamond, not in time, but again, Lipscomb out away from getting out of this 3rd inning relatively unscathed.
Yeah, 2 runners on, Mitchell and Blanton. As Bozaleri at the plate. Bozaleri already with a hit here, 2 RBIs and a double. So a stat stuffer so far in the early portions of this game.
That was a rocket that she hit into the gap in right center. That put Kentucky on the board.
Yeah, that it did. And Bozaleri, as you stated, those 2 RBIs were the first 2 runs scored for Kentucky. Two balls, 1 strike. The 65th pitch by Sauer. This one going towards left field and almost gone, but a run will score. 2 runs will score for Kentucky, and a 5-0 lead for the Wildcats in the top portion of the 3rd inning. And that one hit hard towards left field, dropped.
Yeah, Belfield fell down as we take another look.
Number 21, Aaron Koffel.
On the ball that makes it a 5-0 game. You know, Belfield just got turned around out there in front of the track. Not 100% sure if she would have caught the ball anyway as it went off the wall on the fly, but just a difficult circumstance there for the Lipscomb left fielder. I think maybe her falling down allowed the 2nd run to come in. Had she kept her balance and played it off the wall and gotten the ball into the infield quickly, it may not have had 2 runs score.
And this one hit hard towards right field and an out. So a fly out to right field. And we'll take a break. 2 runs come across for Kentucky.
Lipscomb's fouled the ball off a lot on her, but just not able to straighten the ball out and just not able to time it as well as they'd like to.
Leading off the inning for Lipscomb, designated player number 16, Lauren Griffith.
Griffith to lead things off here for Lipscomb. First pitch goes for a strike, and that, again, for a pitcher, an already confident pitcher, that does nothing but elevates the confidence when you throw a first pitch strike. So no balls, 1 strike. And this one high and almost hits Griffith for ball 1. So 1 ball and a strike. And Lipscomb unable to really get anything going offensively.
That looked like a really good pitch right there, but Schoonover doesn't get the call. And to your point, I mean, it's just almost a different beast going up against SEC pitching.
Yeah, that it is. I mean, when you look at it, RJ, I mean, being totally honest, I mean, the SEC, I mean, they really just beat up on each other. And a lot of teams in the conference ranked in the top 25.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Oklahoma, the SEC would have a lot more national championships in softball. And those national championships will be going to the SEC starting next year since Oklahoma and Texas are joining the conference.
Yeah, that will be very fun to watch as Joey Jerizo up at the plate. Last year, Oklahoma 61-1, looking to
Hard to believe.
Potentially four-peat this season.
A win streak, active win streak for the Sooners north of 70.
That's called domination. And speaking of domination, I mean, Schoonover has been very dominant in the circle here in this afternoon. No balls, 1 strike. With 1 down, as Lauren Griffith got things started off, she struck out swinging. And I will say this, Schoonover, a lot of her pitches, they're going outside, they're going inside, they're going up, they're going down. It's just Lipscomb has had a hard time knowing what to and what not to swing at.
Yeah, she's changing location and changing speed very effectively, and it just keeps the Lipscomb hitters off balance. 6 strikeouts already one trip through the batting order, and she struck out 6 of them.
And that is the second consecutive batter that will strike out swinging Joey Girizzo. And back to the top of the order, Mason Kirby.
But yeah, I was down in Athens, Georgia this past weekend and called Georgia against Miami of Ohio in a tournament down there. And Miami of Ohio actually almost ended Oklahoma's winning streak 2 weeks ago. They were down 7-3. The Redhawks were in the top of the 7th of the game down in Norman, and they wound up tying the game at 7. But the Sooners walked off in the bottom of the 7th, 9-7 to keep the win streak alive. It was actually the opening of the new ballpark there, $48 million stadium there in Norman.
Hey, when you have the type of success that Oklahoma is having in softball, I think you deserve a $48 million stadium.
And it was a Red Hawk that hit the first ever home run in the stadium, ironically enough. Not an Oklahoma Sooner, so I'm sure they weren't too thrilled about that. But
and going back to
Miami of Ohio, the neighbor to Kentucky, they've got a great program too.
Yeah, that they do up in Oxford, Ohio.
Yep.
And the mid-majors are always fun to watch.
Yeah, they are. A lot of these diamond sports, you never know.
Yeah, and luckily we have the privilege of not only obviously with Lipscomb University, but watching Belmont, Tennessee State, a team that's slowly starting to find an identity in the Ohio Valley Conference. I mean, we can go all over the state through D1 all the way down. It's a lot of good softball here in the state of Tennessee and has been for over 2 decades, both on the high school and the collegiate level. A dominant performance against the first 2 hitters, Griffith and Girizzo. Now Mason Kirby making Schoonover work here. This at bat, Kirby struck out looking her first appearance at the plate.
Kirby's did a nice job here the last few pitches just to get the bat on the ball and stay alive.
Yeah, that she is. And we say that she lays one beautifully down. Will the throw be in time? No. Mason Kirby safe at first. And Schoonover is upset.
Well, Lipscomb on the board now in the hit column.
Their first hit of the contest. You are right. Comes at a, I don't want to say a crucial time, but I will say that will kind of help give them a moment here.
Yeah.
Alyssa Hastings at the plate also struck out looking her first appearance. This one hit hard but fouled down the third base line. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the scoreboard.
Yeah, second trip through the order now, so you may see Lipscomb make better contact here.
So now 1 ball, 1 strike corrected on the scoreboard. And this Lipscomb team, I mean, they are a very softball savvy team as well, even though youth movement for Lipscomb. They have some really good elite athletes out there on the field, and especially we all know there is a lot of talent in the state of Kentucky as well. That's one thing that we were told, that they like to recruit in the state and then go outside of the state, and they found a lot of great players in the state of Kentucky.
Yeah, it's a fight between them and Louisville, basically, for the best in-state players. Louisville doesn't have a bad program either.
No, they don't. I mean, you can even Bellarmine.
Yep.
Another pretty good softball program in Kentucky.
And we discussed this last night in our conference call, but, you know, the transfer portal is a new layer of recruiting that college coaches, regardless of the sport, have to deal with.
And I think both of these programs are doing a pretty good job of working with the transfer portal and knowing how to go in there and what to get and who to get and where to plug and play, as this one hit foul. And as you stated, now Lipscomb has had an opportunity to go through the batting order, starting to see what Schoonover can throw, what they feel like they can take advantage of, and starting to see now longer at-bats for Lipscomb.
Yeah, and Hastings' at-bat was a lengthier one in the first inning. I believe 8 pitches. She was called out on strikes on a full count, but again, just working the pitch count.
As Coach Ryman told us, Kentucky, they do a lot of things well. We're seeing that so far. Ground ball towards third base, and now another runner on for Lipscomb University. Alyssa Hastings with a single. So now you have 2 runners on for the Bisons as we look at the replay. Nice hit, well-timed hit, and a ground ball that just went up the left field line.
Yeah, good effort there at third base by Lorsung, but just couldn't get to it, and Koffel watched it glance off the end of her glove. Not an easy play for either one of them there in the Kentucky defense. So a meeting in the circle here with 2 outs. Talking about, I'm sure, how to deal with this scenario in a 5-0 game. 2 runners on. Lipscomb trying to get some semblance of a rally going.
And I think that will lift their confidence. I mean, this is a Lipscomb program that they don't really look down to competition anyone. By no means necessary, neither one of these programs, but a confident team coming in. I think you get a couple runs on the board versus a Power 5 school. You know, they have experience doing things of that nature. 2 runners on this one. Foul, but an out. So wonderful job fielding right there by the University of Kentucky, and catching that one, the do everything Aaron Koffel. Well, correction, Koffel for Kentucky. And that will do, hitting .313 versus Riley Sapp. 43 innings pitched for Miss Sapp. First pitch goes for a strike, so no balls and 1 strike. And now at the plate for Kentucky, Miko Harrison. The local athlete from Lexington, Kentucky, went to Tates Creek High School. The 0-2. This one slightly outside the zone for ball number 1. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Harrison's showing some patience at the plate. The 1-2, this one popped up, fouled out of play, but still staying alive. The 1-2, this one again slightly outside the zone for ball number 2. So after Sapp threw strikes on her first 2 pitches, now 2 consecutive balls. The 2-2, this one popped up, and a pop out for Miko Harrison. And making the catch for Lipscomb, that's Josie Polk.
Yeah, nice pitch there by Sapp, making Harrison have to almost dig it out of the dirt, and after a relatively long battle got the first out of the inning, and there's a very short battle for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, Riley Smith will ground out to first, so I will say Riley Sapp has provided a much-needed spark, if you would. I mean, this is someone that Coach Ryman feels like she has pure talent and has potential to be really good for the program. At the plate, Lorsung for Kentucky. I will say I like what Riley Sapp is out there doing. She's throwing a lot of first pitch strikes to these Kentucky batters. Unafraid. And this one a swing and a miss right there for strike 2. So no balls, 2 strikes. Going up against Grace Lorsung, a 281 hitter. The 0-2, this one hit hard, but fouled. Sapp with the 0-2 and another foul ball. Sapp getting her opportunity in the top portion of the 4th inning. And that last pitch goes for a ball, so 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, good off speed there. Just didn't catch the strike zone. It was very close, though. Knee high right on the outside corner. Thought Sapp may have gotten the call. A nice discipline there by Lorsung to not hack at it. You mentioned it earlier, Will. The Kentucky lineup has a lot of players in it with good eyes at the plate. Very smart hitters. Disciplined.
Yeah, that they are, and we've seen that on display. And this will end the inning. And a pop out to end the inning for Lorsung. Pitching change. Bottom portion of the 4th inning underway as Brenna Sherman with a swing and a miss to get things started in the 4th inning. Schoonover has gone the entire way in the circle for the Wildcats. Check swing right there. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. This one hit hard towards right field and a fly out to right as Riley Smith making the catch out in right field. And the 1 down for Lipscomb in the bottom portion of the 4th.
Second baseman, number 1, Brianna Wright.
Well, Lipscomb got a couple of base runners on there in the bottom of the 3rd. See if they can get something here in the bottom of the 4th. Not an easy task, obviously, with Schoonover to deal with.
And Wright hits this one to center field, and she will fly out to center. So you have Sherman, who flew out to the right fielder, and Wright will fly out to center as Blanton making the catch in left field. And Kaylin Belfield at the plate. Can Kentucky have a 3-up, 3-down inning?
You know, Schoonover is a pitcher that's, really dealt with a lot in her collegiate career. Freshman and sophomore years, didn't play too much, sort of had to earn her way into the regular rotation for Kentucky. And then her junior year last year really emerged and had a breakout season, at least in February and March. Was the pitcher of the week 1 week in conference play around this time last year, and had a forearm injury that sidelined her the entire month of April. She's been able to bounce back. A lot of perseverance for Schoonover throughout her collegiate career, and just, shows her toughness as an athlete. It's very admirable.
Yeah, that it is. I mean, in a generation of athletes that, if things are not necessarily going their way, they will, in some shape, form, or fashion, try to hit the transfer portal, but not the case for Schoonover. I mean, sticking it out, staying committed to the program, and she is the fruits of her labor are showing.
Yep. And like you said, that's at the Power 5 level. That's sort of problematic, for lack of a better term. Just players hitting the transfer portal, if they don't get the opportunities that they were thinking they would. And sometimes, they'll play down at the mid-major level. Like you'll see some players will, if they're not playing very much with a Big Five, come down to a mid-major and really emerge. And then obviously with, a school like Lipscomb, it's kind of the other way around. If somebody really breaks out with Lipscomb, then, they're off to Big Five.
One runner on for the Bisons. Lauren Higginbotham at the plate. She popped out to first her last appearance. Belfield on first. This one high, almost hits Higginbotham. Let's come down to their final out of the bottom portion of the fourth inning. The 1-1, this one hit hard. Vanessa Nesby to get things started in the top half of the fifth inning. Nesby thought about laying down a bunt, brings it back. No balls, one strike. The 0-1. This one hit and throw in time. No, safe at first. Nesby.
Well, Kentucky's great at playing small ball. I can tell you that. Nice
catcher number 2, Carissa Hamilton.
Little slapper there over the circle, over a leaping Sapp. And once it got past Sapp, no chance to get Nesby at first.
Yeah, that elevation, once it slapped down and then came up. Riley Sapp had no chance.
Yeah, just considering how well Nesby runs down the line, too, and just since the ball wasn't hit that hard, that's just not from a Lipscomb perspective, not a good combination there to get the out at first.
And this one hit hard and caught by the catcher, Sherman. So Hamilton will pop out. The first out for the top portion of the fifth inning for Kentucky.
Yeah, Hamilton just way under the ball. Kentucky has a pinch hitter here.
Taylor Ebbs.
It's Taylor Ebbs, pinch hitting. Riley Sapp, she came in. Excellent appearance for Riley Sapp. 3 up, 3 down inning for her. And now some of these Kentucky hitters have had an opportunity to see, what she can do.
Yeah, Sapp more of an off-speed pitcher, just from what I've gathered, and it seems to have made these Wildcat hitters a little bit off balance.
And Nesby, will she steal second? Yes. So now Nesby in scoring position for the Wildcats, standing up at second after sliding in to steal the base. So 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch count. And this one hit towards center field. And a fly out to left. That will sit Taylor Ebbs down.
Second baseman, number 12, Margaret Tobias.
Yeah, the UK lineup has really been thwarted since that third inning. 6 of the last 7 Wildcat hitters have been retired.
Yeah, that they have. This bunt laid down, and now a runner at third, and now at first for Kentucky. And I believe that was Margaret Tobias. So now corners covered yet again for Kentucky.
Now batting, number 88.
Yeah, just put in a beautiful spot there by Tobias. Nice play by Hastings. Got to the ball quickly, but this is a fast Kentucky lineup and not easy to retire batters at first base on softly hit balls in the infield.
No, it's not. And we've seen this excellent base running on full display. Bozzolari at the plate. Bozzolari with 2 hits and drove in 2 runs as well.
Yeah, 2 doubles for her today.
The 1-1.
She can hit the ball to all parts of the field. Her first double was to right center. The second double over the head of Kaylin Belfield out in left. Yeah, each of those doubles knocked in 2 for her.
That they did. This one hit towards third base, but a foul. So Bozzolari will have to come back to the plate. And Kentucky has had a lot of hits. I mean, yes, they've had, well, not a lot of official hits in the game, but a lot of foul balls that at times they look fair, but then go foul.
Yep. Just a little bit of a timing issue there, but it's just a bit out in front of it on that particular instance. But the Bisons have been out hit in this game 12-2.
Yeah, the Bisons have struggled to hit, but I mean, going up against some really elite pitching. The 2-2. This one swung and hit towards left field, and a run will score for Kentucky. And the 6th run scored by Vanessa Nesby for the Wildcats. So now again, Kentucky with 2 runners on.
Man, what an afternoon for Borzolari. 5 RBIs. As you see, it snuck through the 5-6 hole to score Nesby 60 feet from third base. And the beat goes on here for the Wildcats, now getting to Sapp in the 5th after she threw a clean 4th.
Yeah, now Kentucky has had a chance to go through a few hitters and see what Riley Sapp has to offer. Now taking advantage of what they know to take advantage of. The 1-0. This one hit but fouled, hit hard by Aaron Koffel.
A quiet game to this point for Koffel, which is very surprising.
Yeah, very rare. I mean, 62 career home runs, the home run record holder in Kentucky's program history. Her first at bat, she popped out, second at bat, ground out, and a fly out to right field. So 0 of 3 here this afternoon. The 2-1. This one swung hard and yet fouled. And it's safe to say, Aaron, grueling schedule, if you would, coming up. I mean, this is someone scooting over you probably won't use tomorrow. You probably save her for the weekend after this midweek game, and she's getting a lot of good reps in this midweek contest.
Yeah, she is 100%, and Kentucky's expected to see some severe weather Friday, so they moved their tournament that they're hosting this weekend. They're moving it to a Thursday, Saturday, Sunday scheduling scenario rather than the traditional Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they're probably going to burn Schoonover today, not be able to throw her tomorrow, but she'll be back for the weekend. Kentucky has the SEC bye, if you will, this week. So no SEC opponents for the Wildcats. They host a tournament with a couple other schools, and the next 6 or 7 games for Kentucky will be a good sort of testing ground to kind of get them back on their feet, proverbially, after the sweep against LSU here this past weekend. They've got the tournament, then Marshall, and then SEC play resumes next weekend against Florida, which won't be easy.
No, not an easy test at all. L. Smith, leadoff hitter in the bottom portion of the 5th inning for the Bisons. A .224 hitter on the year with 13.
But just to kind of cap off that thought there about Kentucky's near future scheduling, that again, the next 6 or 7 games are all against opponents that are very beatable, and so it gives Kentucky that, sort of feeling of confidence that they really need going into that Florida series. There's a lot of disappointment and frustration after how that LSU series turned out, but this is not a team that's deflated. They still have a lot of internal self-confidence that'll help them as the season goes on. And as a softball team, you don't want to peak in March. You want to peak in May.
And that's when this Kentucky team traditionally tends to find their stride and do good things.
You want to be playing your best softball in late May at the SEC tournament this year in Auburn. And then once you get into the national tournament starting in early June.
And Aaron Smith out to get things started. Schoonover, she has been wheeling and dealing.
Here in 4 1/3 innings. And she's just kept the Lipscomb hitters off balance all day.
Yeah, that she has. She has confused this team.
That's really indicative of 3 of the 7 strikeouts being called third strikes rather than swinging third strikes. It's just not an easy adjustment if you're a hitter going up against Schoonover right now. She's changing speeds but also changing locations, and that combination is not ideal if you're a hitter.
Jack Bush at the plate for the Bisons. A swing and miss right there for strike 1. So no balls and 1 strike.
And that is, if a pitcher is effective at it, at changing speeds, good command, pitching to the target, varying locations, things like that. If you miss your spots, then they're going to bite you.
That's what they've done. So pitch count, 1 ball, 1 strike. This is only the second time these two teams have played here on the campus of Lipscomb University.
Yeah, very road-heavy schedule for the Wildcats.
Yeah, that it
here
is.
Early on in this season.
13 contests have been played on neutral sites, 13 games. Their 5th road game of the season, 2-2 overall on the road. Potentially, true road games. Potentially looking to go 3-2.
Yeah, they were part of the Shriners Children's Hospital Clearwater Invitational this year. Second weekend of the season. A lot of the big-name softball schools are part of that on a yearly basis.
A swing and a miss right there for out number 2. As Jack Bush will strike out swinging. And listen to this, RJ. In non-conference miles traveled, as we look at the replay, Kentucky, 7,578.
Wow. Already this early in the season, that's hard to believe.
I've probably traveled maybe 5,000 my entire life.
Your entire life?
They've done over 7,000 in a season. And I've been all over the country. Quick infield meeting. We get back to the top of the order, Mason Kirby. And this is a Kentucky team. A lot of these, you don't take your midweek games lightly, because that's what a lot of these mid-major teams want you to do. They want to kind of catch you napping, if you would. But I like how Kentucky has come out. They've stayed poised. They've done what they do best. And they've played with a lot of discipline. And it's helped them out so far, hence why they have a 6-0 lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning. One of their keys to victory was keeping keeping them in the game with defense and pitching. And they have done that throughout the game, and they have found multiple ways to score.
Yeah, done that perfectly. I haven't given Lipscomb any freebie other than a couple of walks, just really not that many freebies to speak of given by the Kentucky team, and no unforced errors that can come back and cost you some runs.
I think when you look at this game today, Kentucky is showing why they are the better team. Albeit picked to finish 10th in the SEC. Lipscomb picked to finish 11th in the A-Sun as that last attempt was fouled by Mason Kirby. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kirby's first appearance, he struck out looking. A single in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, and you were talking about there how Kentucky was projected to finish in the conference. I mean, now granted, I don't know how much stock people take into coaches' polls sometimes, but I mean, 10th in the SEC, you're thinking, okay, 10th of the 14, okay, really? You're still a great team.
Yeah, that's
10th in the SEC. That conference is a beast.
And a ground out to 3rd to end the inning. We'll get back to that point when we start the top field on the campus of Lipscomb University. It's been a thriller to watch this Kentucky team play. They have not disappointed at all. Top of the 6th we go.
And you couldn't have asked for a better day of softball, too. Mid-70s, sunshine.
Cloud or two, but none threatening. As Hutchings at the plate. 1 of 2 today. A ground out and a single. And back to your point about the SEC, you were talking about how when you look at the conference from top to bottom, you finished, top 10 in the conference. I mean, that you've had a hell of a season.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically in the tournament, in the national tournament, if you finish that high. I mean, looking through the softball rankings right now, 11 SEC teams are ranked. So that just shows you that it's not even debatable the best softball conference in America. And then you're going to add Oklahoma and Texas next year, which we discussed a couple of innings ago. And you're going to have 16 teams in the conference, and in all likelihood, 13 or 14 of the 16 ranked, because Oklahoma and Texas are excellent softball programs too, and LSU just knocked off Texas here yesterday in the thriller.
Hutchings flew out to center field, and a bunt laid down perfectly and safe. Smith at first base.
Yeah, one more look here. Yeah, drops or shows bunt late, I should say, and drops it down. Good speed there in front of the circle, and the defense just didn't have a ton of time to react that she squared around, and that allows Smith to reach base with a bunt single.
Cassie Reisner into the game for Kentucky. That first pitch goes for a ball. This is someone, she makes do with the time that she has. See what she can do in a 6-0 ball game. And Smith, will she make it back to first? Safe she does. Nice awareness out there by the catcher, but nonetheless, I mean, you keep Smith at first. You let it be known, hey, we see you. 2 balls, no strikes. Riley Smith in the circle. The 2-0. This one hit hard towards the left field, and Smith rounding third. Will she make it safely? She does. Smith thinking about going home and makes it. And Kentucky with a 7-0 lead in the top half of the 6th inning. As Reisner with a stand-up double and drives in a run as well. As we look at this on the replay, beautifully hit towards left field. And the fleet of foot Riley Smith was waved in by the base coach, and she listens as Kentucky takes a 7-0 lead.
Well, you talk about making the most of your opportunities there a couple of pitches ago with Reisner, and she does just that. A rocket to the left field corner, and Smith didn't hesitate all the way around the bases. Scoring at the plate, standing up to make it 7-0, and Wildcat in scoring position with one out.
Peyton Plotz at the plate.
Now she's had a nice game, 3 for 3. All 3 of her hits singles.
Yeah, that she has. I mean, Peyton Plotz looked to be an athlete to do some big things for Kentucky. The future is bright. And going back to my point, bench press is 145 in deadlifts, 145 as well. So some impressive numbers in the weight room. No balls, 2 strikes. 1 down for Kentucky. And this one hit hard towards center field and gone. Say goodbye to this one as 2 runs will come across for Kentucky, and the Wildcats take a 9-0 lead. And RJ, I mean, all I can say was that one was hit hard, and it did what it was supposed to do. It left the field.
Yeah, it traveled a long ways, as you could see the replay there. Timed it up perfectly, straight away center field into the evergreens out there.
Yeah, that one is
4 for 4 game for Plotz. Man, what an afternoon for her. A couple of RBIs now after the home run.
For Kentucky, number 20, Erica Thulin.
Erica Thulin into the game. And now at this point, Kentucky giving some athletes some time out there on the diamond that normally wouldn't see reps. I mean, and at this point with a 9-0 lead, why not? Smith pitch fouled, so no balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2, this one slightly outside the zone for a ball, so 1 ball and 2 strikes. And you know what? A statement that was told to us regarding Kentucky as a team, the answers are starting to answer themselves. And this one hit and into the gap right field, and standing up for a single, Erica Thulin.
Yeah, well, now you're in a situation here in a 9-0 game. You're emptying your bench a little bit, and a lot of these reserve players
number 3, Taylor Evans.
showing Coach Lawson what they can do, and it's a good way to prove yourself here in these midweeks and games that are at a significant margin.
And the Bison's able to turn 2 to get out of the inning. We'll take a break
For the Wildcats, 3 runs on 4 hits.
and be right back. This is A-Sun Softball, and you're watching it all live on ESPN+. Few moments in the contest where Lipscomb has shown signs of consistency.
Yeah.
Just not necessarily throughout this game, but again, it goes back to my point. Credit to Kentucky. I mean, they're coming in the 23 ranked team in all of college softball, and I see why.
Yeah, they've had
Number 12, Alyssa Hastings.
They've had a good program for a long, long time. Pretty much Rachel Lawson's entire tenure, which is now in year 17.
Yeah, we'll get into some winning percentages and things of that nature with Coach Lawson. And oddly enough, I got a chance to talk with Coach Ryman, and she joked in our pregame conversation that some people feel that Coach Lawson and Coach Ryman kind of favor each other. This one hit towards left field and a fly out to left for Hastings. And it's Riley Smith making the catch in the outfield for the Wildcats.
Third baseman, number 8, Josie Polk.
And Josie Polk at the plate. Polk, her first appearance, struck out looking. And in the third inning was able to get a single. So no balls, 1 strike. The 0-1. This one slightly outside the zone, ball 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. So 11 seasons before Coach Lawson came, RJ, Kentucky had 1 winning season. During her 17-year tenure at Kentucky, 15.
She's become a mainstay and one of the best coaches in the country. She's taken the Wildcats to OKC 1 time for the Women's College World Series.
I think another number that really sticks out to me, 8 super regionals, but it's all about being a student athlete, if you would. SEC Academic Honor Roll honorees, 202 in the 17-year tenure for Coach Lawson.
And Kentucky, academically, is a great school, too. It's not easy to get enrolled there, get accepted as a student at UK.
Yeah, it is not. This hit drops into center field. And Polk with a single here in the bottom of the 6th. Nicely hit and just slightly over the head of, well, actually not over the head, but Blanton not necessarily mistimed that one. I think that one was just more beautifully placed.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been an easy play for Blanton. Yeah, you're exactly right. Just placed perfectly. Heck of an effort, though. Ball at the top of the strike zone, maybe a little bit above the zone, and Polk was able to get the bat up there and get it right on the barrel.
Brenna Sherman, 0 of 2 here this afternoon. Struck out and then flew out to right field in the 4th inning. Now just a quick meeting in the circle. And you know what? Pitcher-catcher communication, it has to be spot on. And we have seen that throughout the season with both teams, Lipscomb and Kentucky. And you see why, the Kentucky program, a team that has been very consistent, and pitching has been a wonderful thing for the Wildcats.
And especially nowadays, the pitcher-catcher communication has to be spot on, because with pace of play rules, you're now limited to the number of circle visits you can have.
Swing and a miss right there for strike 1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. And Sherman swung at that one hard, but just slightly mistimed it. The 2-1. Check swing right there, but slightly outside the zone. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, emphasizing pace of play in Division I this year. The pitch clock down to 20 seconds. It was 25 and will now be more heavily enforced as the count runs full. And games were just taking too long. That was the main part of it. And there was, as time went on, there was just a lot less flow to a game. And that was something that the decision makers wanted to change.
And they fly out to center field for Brenna Sherman. And you know what? I will say this. Personally, I do like the change in the time, taking it down from 25 to 20 seconds, because now as a pitcher, it makes you think 5 seconds faster. It makes you, go into your pitches quicker. So on the back end, that's a lot of preparation.
Right. And a lot of it, too, depends on the pitcher. Some pitchers are just one of those grip it and rip it where they're fast workers. They like to just have that constant flow all the time. They don't like being interrupted by the batter. It's a two-way street, the whole pitch clock thing, because sometimes the batters are really slow and the pitchers work fast and they're sort of out of rhythm if the batter's taking forever, adjusting the batting gloves, the helmet, things like that, getting the sign from the third base coach. And there are some pitchers out there that are more cerebral. They're slower and eat up basically the entirety of the pitch clock on a given pitch. So it's kind of a two-way street there with pitcher and batter in terms of that adjustment.
Brianna Wright swung and missed right there for strike number 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 down for the Bisons. With Polk at first. Wright struck out in the second and a fly out to center field in the 4th inning. The 2-2. Swing and a miss right there, and that will do it for the game. And Kentucky will come to Nashville and get their second win versus the Lipscomb Bisons. RJ, any parting comments?
Yeah, well, what a game for Stephanie Schoonover. 6 shutout innings, only gave up 3 hits, struck out 9 Lipscomb batters. They were off balance all afternoon. Just a terrific performance. Good bounce back game for Kentucky. With the tournament this weekend, conference play will resume in about a week and a half. This was one that